Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. The Chinese calendar.
China.
All the animals that represent each of the years are on the calendar. The rat, the rabbit, the snake, the dragon. Personally, I am a dragon. Born in the year 1964. I don't know what that means, but when I have Mexican food, I do shoot fire. Dragons have certain traits. My traits are lucky, flexible, eccentric, imaginative, artistic, spiritual, charismatic, and I hate when some weird system based on nothing nails me to the wall, although they forgot sexy. On the other hand, the proof that the Chinese calendar is bogus and full of dragon feces is how it describes sweet potato Hitler. Donald Trump is the year of the dog.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
And how accurate did the Chinese describe this moron? Loyal, sociable, courageous, diligent, steady, lively, adaptable, smart? All right, let's go down that list. Loyal. Trump has sold out any and every person that helped him. McConnell.
What Mitch McConnell has allowed the Democrats to get away with is absolutely unthinkable.
Chris Christie.
He's a liar and a coward.
Jeff Sessions.
I'd like to be a dentist.
Mike Pence. Well, I mean, I don't know if he sold Mike Pence out, but he tried to have him killed. So Trump is as loyal as my ex-wife. You got it wrong, Chinese Zodiac.
China.
Unless you're talking about his loyalty to Putin, and then, all right, I'll give it to you.
Reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart.
Sociable. Well, they got that one right. He loves to have people get together for wild parties at the Capitol. Okay, Chinese calendar, 1 out of 2. Courageous? God, he is courageous. Remember when he had a bunch of snowflakes protesting near the White House? And Trump had to go hide in the bunker?
President Trump was briefly rushed to an underground bunker.
So brave. Freedom! Diligent. Well, diligent means having or showing care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties. So you mean the dude that stayed in bed watching TV until 11 a.m. and golfed 320 days while he was president? Come on, Chinese calendar, you're dropping the ball here. Or whatever the word for ball in Chinese is.
Buy toys from China.
When it comes to crime and indictments, however, he's very diligent. This one's a wash, Chinese calendar.
China.
Steady, though. Is Donald Trump steady?
Bing, 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 bong, bing, 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 boom, bing, boom, bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, 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 the bing, bing, bang, bang, boom, bing, bing.
Unless he's impersonating a xylophone, which is the first time I've ever used that word. The last 3, lively, adaptable, and smart. This is him. Lively?
Bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, 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 bing.
Adaptable. He couldn't even adapt to losing the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
They rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before.
He had to start an insurrection. Smart?
In June of 1775, our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airport.
Person, woman. Bing, 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 bong.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But let's be clear. We have a man who's been indicted and in court since he was a racist building owner with his father. His father who happened to be in the KKK. And now this human whole has been indicted for the 3rd time by one of the best, most centrist prosecutors arguably in the world. Jack Smith has taken down Democrats, Republicans, war criminals, and despots in the world court. He doesn't care about right and left. He cares about right and wrong. In the 34-page indictment, Trump is charged with a conspiracy to defraud the United States. You know, kill all your votes so he could keep eating hamburgers and grab pussy in the White House.
Bing, bing, bing.
He's also accused of a conspiracy to corruptly obstruct a government proceeding.
Bing.
You know, to stop the verification that Biden won the presidency because Biden won the presidency.
Bing, bing,
so he
bing.
sent a mob to kill some people in Congress because Biden won the presidency. Also, a conspiracy against the right for you to vote and have your vote counted.
Bing.
He wanted to take your rights, people. Rights granted by the Constitution that you love so much. And he had a plan to do it. So the Chinese calendar was wrong, and I'm proposing another animal added to the Chinese calendar. The Cheeto Weasel.
China, big league.
Traits are lying, stealing, corruption, pure evil, and shanking golf balls like he's having a seizure.
Bing.
There,
bong.
Chinese calendar. I fixed it. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. Man, how do you just guess? Yeah, that year's the rat. That kind of sucky. Do you think those people with the rat year were like, hey, can I have a meeting? And the dragon people were like, man, motherfucker, I'm a dragon. I ain't seen you shit. I'm a dragon. I ain't a dragon. Too hot. Hot there. I'm going to man. China. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hi, how are you? How's the summer going? You on fire yet? With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
Okay,
Why did we get the note
I have no
correct?
idea, but I liked it better than anything we've ever done.
We're going to put that for the fun fact at the end.
I'll be honest, I like that better. Trump got indicted. Done.
What?
Again?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's the weekly indictment. I forgot. So the weekly indictment this week was for basically trying to overthrow the government. He got charged on 3 different counts. I was reading the indictment today. They got him so hard, dude. He names the people that said this about him, that told Trump repeatedly, you lost. He agreed that he lost. Then he said, well, how can we win anyway? Then
and it's like his daughter and his dad came back from the dead, and everyone was just...
It's Giuliani, man. It's like, and Giuliani's involved in it. And so this guy...
Of course he is.
Yeah, I know, but this guy...
We still don't know who unindicted co-conspirator number 6
We
is.
think it's Meadows. Because Meadows fall off. He's living in a small town in Iowa right now.
In a witness protection.
Bob.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
His name is Bob Schustenberger, something like that. And he's living there, and he's going to disappear.
And be in the next Martin Scorsese movie.
No, because Mark Meadows is an attorney. And this person that was specifically noted was not an attorney, was a political consultant.
It's got to be Bannon then. It's got to, because Bannon's already in deep shit.
You said Bannon, and I thought that was interesting.
Bannon or Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
Oh.
It could be Roger Stone.
Yeah.
Roger Stone's just a scumbag. I hope he goes down.
Which one of the evil swamp monsters?
Exactly.
From-
Hey, you got to pick one. You got to pick one horrible, evil, harm, and the Sith Lord that would make Darth Vader puke.
It's like a Dungeons and Dragons game with the cards of the monsters. Which one of Trump's cabinet is?
By the way, that would be a funny
That's
to
a
do
game.
a version Dungeons and Dragons with the Trump and then the Biden cabinet. So I was thinking, I'm driving today because I keep hearing they had Trump's lawyer on some TV show, and the guy was talking, and he's like, you know what? I can't believe he goes, you want justice? He goes, this guy, you guys had 3 years to work on this case. You want to go to trial in 6 months? Well, here's the thing. We worked on the case because you committed the crime. You're done with the crime. You don't need what do you need to do?
But also, as I was saying last night, it wouldn't have taken this long if they had complied with subpoenas, if they hadn't sued to stop every witness, every document turnover, every judge, every special master in all these cases.
You did this.
You tied it up in court forever. You fought testifying forever, and everyone around you. He fought for executive privilege. He lost that. He claimed it again. I mean, give me a break.
And let's not forget, we're really only in a year and a half of no pandemic closures. Everything's been on lockdown. So the first, when did that all?
Well, we were all in a parking garage getting shots.
Yeah.
Biden was busy. He was trying to get he was going country to country going, we're really sorry about the last guy. Holy shit.
So Trump is scheduled to appear in a federal courthouse on Thursday in Washington, D.C.
Right.
He's going to appear for the indictment on 4 criminal charges. Jack Smith will probably be there if Florida was any indication of that. He sat in the courtroom and stared at Trump the whole time, and Trump would never look at him, and then truthed, he was too scared to even look at me. I looked at him the whole time.
I hope some bailiffs really just slammed the door this time in his face. Remember when he walked in?
That was awesome. Just let it go. Whang! And that was great in your case. So I remember when Jack Smith got Eileen Cannon in Florida for that case, for the documents case. And as I read this indictment this morning, I thought, oh, the documents case really, if we can get him on trying to sell documents, but compared to what this is, the documents case, yes, you stole top secret documents. You tried to keep them. It's
nuclear
felony.
Secrets.
Nuclear. It's felony level. This is insurrection, treason. They didn't charge him with that because they're claiming. So you got to explain this because you have a better criminal mind than I do, which really scares me that I just said that sentence out loud because I married you. What?
No, I
No
married
fault of
you.
us.
See, that's what I mean right
Oh.
there. See what I'm saying? Every day I live like that.
I gotta live with this.
Just like, why? Because they keep saying it's a First Amendment issue. He was just stating his opinions about the election
Oh,
being
I know the
stolen.
answer to this.
Good, there you go. I want to hear that. I want to explain it because I'm a dumb people, and a lot
I'm
of
a dumb
people watch us.
people.
I'm a dumb people, and a lot of dumb people watch us.
They
Except
beg
for
your
you
pardon.
guys, not you guys.
Except for the people that are
Not you guys watching
right
right now. You guys are great, but there's some other people.
Just scroll down a couple
Yeah,
comments.
just go down like 10 comments.
Yeah.
There's one.
So you have the right to say that the election was false.
Right.
You know how we know that that right is afforded to you in this country?
Because you've said it repeatedly for years.
All of them do. Everyone.
constantly.
Fox News, OAN, Newsmax. They would be out of business if Biden and his DOJ, his weaponized DOJ, just charge people for saying the election
But you
results were
can't
false.
say a lie that causes people damage. You can't say that Dominion voting system stole the election.
Well, no, but that would be civil.
Right.
So criminally,
Okay.
right? So he's allowed to say it all day long. He can truth it. He can put out, tweaked memes of himself where he's muscular and, weighs
Fighter pilot.
100 pounds less.
And that fighter pilot
has
with bone
hair
spurs
and-
that never was in the
Mhm.
military.
But he didn't just say it. He then took actions and conspired with other people across the country to stop the electoral college
The free
count.
and fair election. Let's
To
be clear.
Stop Pence's appearance in Congress to begin the transition of power. And they have proof that he did that. So that's not a speech issue. That's an action issue. And
Right.
his actions were against the law.
Talking about push-ups doesn't make you in shape.
No.
Doing push-ups
Turns
gets
out-
you in shape.
Turns out you can go around and say, I'm going to rob a bank over and over and over. You can say that. They can't arrest you for that.
Yeah.
But if you rob the bank,
No, it's my It's my
It's
freedom of
against
speech.
the
I robbed
law.
the bank with the gun. Freedom. All I said to the
Okay.
lady was put the money in the bag. That's freedom of speech, right?
You can't call another state and say, "Hey, can you rob all those banks for me and just, and
plan
also
with
give
them.
me some push-ups?"
So there's is it 13 states that had fake electors? They had so they actually and in their indictment it says Jack Smith. Some people were like this. He said that only after we were the electors only after Pence denied them. That's what the White House told these fake electors. Some of them.
some people got tricked,
Some people got tricked. Some people were flat out.
which Jack Smith put in the indictment.
So we had a bunch of people. So just be clear of who can go down here. Trump set up and put into place a plan to overthrow the election, the free and fair election. He was told by his own. Remember they started that. Remember because everyone started talking shit after the Mueller probe that
After the what?
after the Mueller probe and during the Mueller probe that Russia was involved in our elections.
Yeah.
So Trump, remember that security thing he did? He formed and signed into law an election security tax forks.
Everything he wants has a fork in
There's
it.
a tax forks. What are you? I'm on the tactical tax forks. Task force.
Oh my gosh.
As he tries to-
Are you okay?
Are you Mitch McConnell?
Mini
Mitch.
stroke. I'm having a McConnell. I just had a McConnell. Task force.
Hey. Opa.
That he signed. Figure out what that is. Was it Chris Krebs? He signed the law, and the people that were running the election task force actually said there's no. He was told repeatedly, "There's no. We can't find it." Bill Barr, there's no fraud.
I told you there
We
was a
can't-
meeting referenced where he was bragging about how secure the elections were now under him.
We have him on tape saying it, and then he has all the people that are supposed to watch it said, "Yeah, there was no fraud." Well, then you lost, Barrow.
Well, can we also point out the fact that at the insurrection right before, we have him on tape saying, "We're going to walk down to the Capitol,
The Capitol,
and we're going to fight like hell."
But that's
And
free
then they
speech.
did it. Yeah, okay.
Nah, it's incitement. It's inciting.
Well, here's the problem.
Yes,
if you
please.
read the indictment, there is a point where I think it was Jeffrey Clark, who's unindicted co-conspirator number 4, the guy that
the lawyer with the hat.
On the day
No, that's the other guy.
in question, there is a conversation where Jeffrey Clark says, well, this election's going to have to be decided in the streets. This was after they were told several times by White House counsel, and it's documented. Some of the notes that were turned over that documented a lot of this were Pence's handwritten personal notes.
Hamburgers in the sheets, insurrection in the streets.
Oh my God.
And he knew that there were weapons.
Okay, wait.
present?
So Jeffrey Clark says this is going to have to be decided in the streets, and Trump agrees. And then that afternoon appoints Jeffrey Clark as the
acting AG.
Acting AG. So it was all like there's such an stepped order of how you can see that. I mean, he left hamburger crumbs everywhere.
And then Casey Hutchinson said that the magnetometers let the guns in. Is it Cassidy? Cassidy or Casey?
Cassidy.
Okay. She's in trouble. I hope she has security because she came flat out and was like, no, he said, let him in, turn the mags off, let him in. Well, that means that you wanted weapons on the Capitol. He
said they're not here to hurt me.
They're here to kill Pence and everybody else. So
Jack Smith
it is pretty obvious that this guy was trying to, he was trying to overthrow
and he said,
the government.
I'll be right there with you.
In his statement, yesterday, Jack Smith came out and made a very pointed statement, but he specifically referenced the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police. He said the attack on our nation's Capitol on January 6, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. The men and women, of law enforcement who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6 are heroes. They're patriots, and they are the very best of us. They did not just defend a building or the people sheltering in it. They put their lives on the line to defend who we are as a country and as a people. They defended the very institutions and principles that define the United States. So he's making a point. So in response to that, Michael Fanone came out today. Yeah. Oh, this was why I first called you when you didn't answer. And he said, hey, you know what? He spent his whole life fucking around and now he's about to find out.
I like Fanone. They would put Fanone on all the channels, like interview him. Yes. And every time Fanone was being interviewed, he would say some shit and you'd see the newscaster go, him and Don Lemon became friends, and he would be like, "No, fuck that guy."
He also said yesterday, in this case, my office will seek a speedy trial so that our evidence can be tested in court and judged by a jury of citizens.
So now his lawyer got on television yesterday and said, "You had 3 years, we get the same."
You've had the same, you dipshit. Yeah. We've all been alive that same time. You knew this was coming all along. You know how I know? Your client has been truthing, tweeting, Facebook posting, and rallying about it nonstop.
I would watch your news program.
Thank you. I would love to do. It would be like Annie B doing the news.
It would.
I was going to say, he's almost 80 years old.
Right?
And he's been fucking around since he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
First time are still chasing him. And he's the leading Republican presidential candidate.
This it's weird. It's what you just
really depressing.
But what you said is so bizarre because I remember I was a kid when Nixon got taken down. I have seen candidate after candidate in my life just do a little fuck up and have to quit.
Uh-huh.
I have seen guys just do something that's a little off and they're like, you have to resign, and they resign. And then we get this fuck who just does whatever he wants, lies about it. And all it shows me really is that there are, and I've said it so many times, I'm so tired of calling people dumb, but you're really dumb. They said that his campaign contributions are going
every fucking time.
Yeah.
But so these people don't. Okay,
it's going to be a media circus tomorrow.
These people don't have a plane. You people don't have boats. You don't have resorts. You don't own 5 golf courses. You don't actually have anything, and you're sending this fuck your money. Like what? Like
he said. What did he say? I got indicted for you.
I got indicted for you. Well, they didn't. No, you didn't commit any crimes. He actually committed crimes. Tried to take your vote away. Try to take vote away from Americans. Now, so can we just do like a little exercise? And you guys to jump in and help anytime. It comes out that Barack Obama loses, right? Loses to Mitt Romney. Barack Obama was who he got up against that second time, the second run. We find out don't even find out. We see it on TV. Barack Obama has basically said the election was stolen, and I am going to prove it's stolen, and I will not be leaving the White House, and I will be taking it, and my people are going to go. And then 10,000 Black Lives Matter protesters show up at the Capitol to basically stop Mitt Romney being made right president.
There. The army would be there, and the nuclear bomb would be dispersed. Everyone would be dead.
Barack Obama was getting death threats every day, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. They put a Hitler mustache on him, and he actually got us health care.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, we got Hitler health care. What? That doesn't make no sense at all. But I'm just saying that. So when these people that they're like pro-Trump, and I want to talk about, okay, so that happens. You're right. It would be over like that. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but Barack Obama would be in jail for the rest of his life, if not hung.
And would not be out on bail.
No, he would not be on, and have access to his plane.
Sure, you can be out on bail to take your private plane to your golf course in Bedminster. No problem.
Because we all get to do that. If we actually committed sedition and treason and started, we would get
Think of all the examples of people in jail now who had documents.
It's stealing, who had a document about Russia being involved in our election, not nuclear secrets. I mean, it's insane to me. Also, we heard, something we were talking about last night was that Rachel Maddow was commenting on something she was surprised by was the violence, that thing about settling it in the streets.
Yeah, they were ready for it.
How often that Miles, what's his name, that used to work for him, came out and wrote this new book and said that he was always obsessed with the Insurrection Act. That they always were having to talk him out of the Insurrection Act. That one day they all had to rush over to the Oval Office because they found out he was planning during his State of the Union to use the Insurrection Act and say it was for the border because the border was out of control.
Called it.
So I'm getting to that. So this is mentioned in this indictment as well, that it was casually tossed off. Well, that's what we have the Insurrection Act for.
Wow.
Clink.
So he has requested that we point out that he called that forever ago and was right about it. You said that
I said, this guy's going to impose martial law.
Especially during COVID, you really thought, and apparently it turns out it's true. Yep. He did want to do it repeatedly.
You got to remember, I was married to someone who had a family full of horrible people, and I've been around horrible people my whole life, and I recognize them instantly. If you don't think scumbag Donald Trump was like this guy who's lied and cheated and ripped off literally every vendor that ever built anything in his hotel. If you don't think when that guy got all the power, he was going to tone it down, you're out of your fucking mind.
And if you think he's going to leave office, if you reelect him this next time, he will never leave office.
No, we're
if
done.
He dies, it'll be Junior or whatever. They are never moving out of that White House again.
Here's the difference between our country and other countries. We have a massive population. And if you look, it's not a 50-50 breakdown. It's not a 50-50 breakdown. The reason that sometimes the Republicans win is because a lot of Democrats don't vote. I will tell you this. If that happens, you will see, just look at what he did when he was president. Do you remember that protest? And I brought it up in the Armageddon update, that protest in front of the White House?
Yeah.
People went bat shit. And he took so bad that, and I've never seen this. He hid in the bunker of the White House
and put up walls around the White House.
I forgot that. Do you remember that?
Bidden removed them, but he left them up. He was so chicken shit.
Graffiti walls, right?
Well, they weren't graffiti to begin with.
They had 8-foot walls around the White House. He was getting
barricaded the White House.
He was getting ready to live behind those walls and not have anybody fuck with him.
There's
I forgot he went in the bunker because you called him bunker bitch.
Yeah.
There's 2 great documentaries on Netflix. It's narrated by Peter Dinklage. So it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know.
It's how to become a dictator.
Right.
And then the second one is how to be a cult leader. And Donald Trump,
I saw those.
yeah, they're great. If you put it in the context of Donald Trump, he checks every single box, especially when it comes to the MAGA people and the how to be a cult leader.
But
it's like a playbook.
But what I don't understand is why don't you people see that he's just a grift?
Not only that, but I told you guys before, I sat and read about Hitler one night when he was on stage, and it was gut-wrenching how identical it was.
What am I doing on stage that's making you? I should read about it.
I like to deep dive. I don't know.
How's
But
everybody doing tonight? Everybody good?
Make America Great Again.
Wave your hands in the air and wave them.
It was Make Germany Great Again. Fake news was Lügenpresse. Hitler said it all the time. The lying press. And what's the other one?
Deep state.
No, it wasn't deep state.
Something like that, though, right?
It was one we just heard the other day. It's
I'm doing it for you.
Well, that is one of the things. It was another exact phrase. I told you about how the judge ruled against him. It just happened. I can't. I've just lost it. It left my brain. The judge.
You're bringing up the judge. Just this week, the judge said
flat out said
the scariest thing about this is what Hitler said. Judge, there was he's flat out. And let's talk about the deep state for a second. And I want to because the problem is that when you use logic on these things that he says and you bring it up to the dumb fucks that follow him, and I am calling you dumb fucks because we are now 6 years into this.
The big lie.
The big lie.
The big lie.
We are 6 years into this and you're still being dumb fucks. And this guy is taking hundreds of millions of dollars from you while you actually can't fix your roof.
It's
the judge. Let me get this out. The judge, Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against CNN.
Right.
Because they called his saying it was a big lie.
Call it the big lie.
The big lie. So he sued them for $475 million. The judge threw it out. A federal judge threw it out and then took a minute to say that what was most concerning, like kicked Trump out, but said, before you go, what's most concerning is that the big lie is a direct phrase from Nazi propaganda. So it's like he's even using all the same phrases and they still don't get it.
Right. Because they don't have any education. They don't understand the past.
And they keep posting about us being communist and fascist and
child molesters.
Well, that was kind of out of left field.
Adrenochrome. No, adrenochrome. Look it up. See, they week saying that. There's that movie. Weasel's doing that movie now about trafficking. Well, guess what happened last week? A big, huge Republican operative got literally indicted and arrested for actually running an entire child sex ring.
That's how it always is.
And you just go, let's talk about
always the projecting. Always.
Let's talk about it. Let's do a logical breakdown of the deep state. Let's say let's go with this. The deep state exists, okay? And it's a bunch of people behind a wall, the Star Chamber. Let's call it the Star. They exist. If that's true, do you think they sat around and went, you know what we need in here? We need a reality television star to run this shit. Why? Because can we get somebody that's bankrupt? That's a good idea. Let's get a guy who's bankrupt, a television star who's dumb as shit. Oh, and by the way, there's all this evidence that he's horrible. Like from beauty pageants to grabbing pussy, we have all these tapes and everything. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get him to run president. Can we? Oh, by the way, his first speech got to be really racist. Can he call Mexicans something? Sure, we got that. So let's get that guy. Let's let him run for president. Then, because we're the Star Chamber and we're the deep state and we run shit, let's let him win. But let's put all this shit out. So let's let him win because we're the deep state. Then when he wins, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to have, first of all, start calling countries shithole countries. That's good. Let's ruin our reputation worldwide. We're going to do that. Then what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually,
Tell him.
What do you guys think? Nuclear weapon or pandemic? What do you guys think? You're in the Star Chamber with me.
I'd say
pandemic.
Both. Let's do both.
Let's
do
but
Russia.
Pandemic first.
Start there. Good idea.
So we'll do a pandemic because we know this guy can't handle it, and then we'll have everything totally come apart. We'll lose billions and we'll lose trillions of dollars worldwide because of lack of productivity.
But then let's tell him about ourselves. And then tell him to make fun of us.
Yes, let's make sure he talks about us all that. And then, by the way. And then I got even something more diabolical. Then this fucking Biden guy, this guy who's been around for 50 years, who knows the ins and outs, seen failure and success, both understands it. Let's get him for president. Then we'll make him turn everything around. And then that's how we're going to run the world.
But first, we're going to face swap them.
I think
So
there would be easier ways.
But do you realize the millions of people would have to be involved in this to even make this work?
Mike Pence is a giant vagina and I know you can't call vaginas.
By the way,
blah,
get
blah,
your
blah.
Mike Pence is a giant vagina t-shirt. Go to ChristopherTitus.com.
So after this new indictment today, he won't ever just say it.
The guy's
just
a criminal.
come out and say it. And the craziest thing to me is you guys are all running against him, supposedly.
Right.
And you still can't come out and say, hey, maybe that other guy I'm running against, maybe we shouldn't have candidates that have been indicted this many times, but they won't say it. So Mike
Except for your
Pence
Krispy Kreme.
said today, well, he of course, but he's a pinch hitter. He's a badass. He said today that everyone is entitled to the presumption of innocence, but anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. Who are you talking about? Who did that? He won't say it. He said, and anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again. Okay, wait.
Say that again.
Okay.
Oh, he's just sneaking up on. He's like,
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
exactly.
ready
He
for
just
the
made a
last
little
line?
chest
Ready
move
for the
up
last
on.
line? I've been very forthright about this issue. That was his quote.
As he's
as he steps
as
forward,
he's
back
whispering,
pedal.
yes.
Okay, so Mike Pence is a huge vagina. Is like that's gonna stick. Mike Pence. Here's the thing. As a man, as someone who doesn't take a lot of shit when it comes at me. If you come after me, whether I die or not, I'm coming back. You're the same way. We're like we've been fucked with our whole life, so we're like no. We're cool until we're not cool, and then I'm gonna make you work. You may win, but I'm gonna make you work. For Pence to be such a vagina that this man, they were chanting, hang Mike Pence, for him to still be this big of a vagina after someone sent thousands of people to kill him. And he's still like, well, you know what? Hey, I hope he gets a fair trial.
Maybe
He
the Trump's
said-
name
he
is like
keeps saying
Candyman.
I'd be like, fuck that guy.
He said, sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers who kept telling him what his
Right.
itching ears wanted to hear.
Right.
He said
it was the crackpot
he had no
lawyers.
right to overturn the election results. Pence. But he said, he didn't say specifically, but he said he ultimately continued to demand that I choose him over the Constitution. It's also skirting the issue, the whole statement. It's like, dude, just say Donald Trump did that. He said it to me. That's how I know he did that.
We watched
he
it-
shouldn't be president.
We all watched it on television. This is what I can't wrap my mind around how stupid people are. Guys, it played on television for 14 hours that day. We were at home going, what the fuck is going on? Babe, they're attacking the Capitol. What? I remember us going, like...
Yeah, it was insane. And I said, oh my gosh, that girl on that stretcher is dead. I
Yes.
know what dead
Yeah,
people look like.
yeah.
She's dead. They wheeled her out uncovered.
They
and I
told
was
her,
like,
get down, back off. She came to the window, bing. So-
he said, let's see. He also said he didn't know anything about the efforts to secure fake electors. He learned about that after the fact.
You're talking about Trump?
No,
Pence.
Pence is saying that.
Trump then posted about Pence today, saying he felt badly, quote, badly. I feel badly for Mike Pence, who is attracting no crowds, no enthusiasm, or loyalty from people who, as a member of the Trump administration, should be loving him.
Oh my God.
He's always got to slam people.
Yeah.
He is such a turd. You know what he is? He's also here's the weirdest thing about the guy for me. Take all the criminality aside, take everything he's ever done, take all the way he treats women, take all of his bankruptcy, that he's a shitty financial manager, that he's just a criminal.
Keep going.
The motherfucker, have you ever seen him laugh? Have
No.
you ever
He
seen
does
him
that
No.
weird,
have a sense of
twisted,
humor?
painful smile.
He
thing.
doesn't laugh.
Mm-mm.
Listen, if you don't have a dog, if dogs don't like you, that right there, that's the universe going, this not this fucking guy. So to all you people that actually think this man, and one more thing he never says, he never touts his accomplishments. Look at every speech, especially since he lost. Never said what he did. Never said why he's better. just keep saying the Biden
Everyone
administration's
else is
horrible.
bad and
Everybody's
sucks.
horrible. Everybody's horrible. But he didn't accomplish anything.
Well, at least he knows that much, right? At least he's
he
being
did
honest about that.
To not bring it up, to be
Yeah.
like, hey, tell him what you did.
He's being honest by omission.
First of all, I'm not totally a moron. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. I still remember it. And you know
There,
what?
he was bragging.
If you remember it 4
Accomplishment.
years later, you get extra points.
Extra points.
That might be his one accomplishment.
Still my funniest. It still makes me giggle.
Judge Luttig came out. You guys might remember
Love
him.
this guy.
J.
This guy's
Michael
awesome.
Luttig. He testified before the January 6th hearings, but also he's been one of the conservative rights. You know, he's one of their people, or he was until he testified.
Yeah.
He said that he absolutely does not have any sort of First Amendment defense because his lawyer, Laura, was all over the news yesterday saying that his free speech rights were being violated. And Luttig said these are as grave of offenses against the United States as a president could ever commit, save possibly treason. The former president is neither a victim nor a martyr today. America is Donald Trump's victim, and Donald Trump has martyred America for his own selfish personal and political ambitions.
Treason was covered on the document side. That's the Florida case. The treason is the Florida case where he basically took nuclear secrets, troop positions, and military planning, and basically was putting him in a fucking package for the Saudis or whoever. And he showed, by the way, showing the Iran plans that Milley had drawn up.
There were no papers. The rustling you heard and me saying on the tape.
I was wiping my ass.
But Kid Rock said there was. He saw them. Kid Rock saw them.
Yeah. You know how he says
Yes.
on the
Kid
recording.
Kid Rock. Yeah, he said he saw maps.
Of course
Thank God
he
it was
did.
Kid Rock.
It was Kid Rock.
Thank God. No, yeah, that's cool, man. Can I get a beer?
Make sure it's not a Bud Light. No translating.
What is that a map of? What is that? Is that Florida? No, that don't look like Florida. What is it?
They're getting ready in
My
DC.
name is...
Here's my conspiracy. So Trump was truthing about, and his lawyers, everyone was saying right before the document indictment that, because remember there was a grand jury in DC going at the same time as there was one in Florida. So everyone was like, where is he going to be charged? Trump was saying that he would never get a fair trial in DC, that it's the radical left, it's predominantly Biden voters in DC, which it is logistically true, although you're saying that fellow citizens and judges don't know how to be impartial.
Right.
But
right.
okay.
It better be my people or no people.
Right. So all of a sudden then he gets indicted in Florida. And then his girl gets appointed to head that trial, Cannon.
They didn't bitch about that.
So it's fair. So they shut up. But now he's been indicted in DC. So I feel like almost like they could throw away the documents case because this is where it's really going to come home.
I think that was the plan because I remember being very angry that Jack Smith, because, you know, there's got to be some I mean, listen, if the deep state was real, that case would have been given to a Democratic judge appointed by Barack Obama, the documents case. That is a treason, sedition. I mean, not sedition. That's a treason espionage case is what that is. And that would have been, if there was a deep state, by the way, they wouldn't, first of all, if it was a deep state, you wouldn't be free to get on your plane. If there was a deep state, your ass would be in jail already.
You wouldn't be alive.
They would have planted, we'd have dead bodies. If there was a deep state, dude, you'd be already over.
You'd be poison darted.
Again, as I said in a couple of Armageddon, Navalny, that's the deep state. Navalny, they just picked his ass up. Yeah,
that's not even deep though. That's just
the state.
Shallow state.
Yeah. You got arrested. What happened? Parking tickets. Get in jail. That's there it is. That's how it happens. They don't indict you in 4 different jurisdictions. They just fucking arrest you. Yeah. And so what I don't understand is that people don't get what happened. So I'm reading the indictment and it really hit me about page 6 that holy fuck, this plan was to do what every dictator does, which is take the country over.
Yeah.
He's just kind of lame about it. This also goes to my other thing where I think Tommy Tuberville or Tonerville, whatever the fuck his name is, won't let Biden's appointees go through the military because if he does that, those are obviously pro-democracy progressives or whatever, or maybe not. Maybe they're conservatives, but they're good people. They're good Americans because I would trust Biden on picking that. And if Tommy Tuber does that, if they get elected again, which could happen, by the way, if they get elected again, that means that they can appoint everybody that's going to go into the streets and shoot Americans. So the next time they're not going to fuck this up, which is exactly what Hitler did. Hitler tied the Bierhaus Putsch. They had the Reichstag fire, and then what happened is he went to jail for 5 years, and then he came back and he took over Germany.
I'm telling you got to watch those documentaries. The thing about the deep state is that he will keep saying it. It is play dictator and cult leader 101. Keep claiming that the institutions are untrustworthy,
right?
Yes.
So that he can position himself as the one person who's going to fix it.
The only checks and balances.
Like he did the last time.
Right, exactly. But say it enough, do it enough, just like the Nazis did, just like Goebbels, and they will just believe it.
Guys, Trump's a loser. He's a loser. You have to understand, he lost the presidency, the House, and the Senate. He's a loser. He can't even fix his own fucking taxes. He's a loser. I'm just saying it over and over again. He's a loser. Loser. Had that man not started, imagine who Trump would be without his dad giving him $400 million. That's what he started with. And what happens is when you give that kind of money, you blow it.
He'd still be a serious piece of shit, though, because his dad was a nightmare.
Well, we wouldn't know about him.
True.
If he wasn't wealthy, he wouldn't know about it. His dad got arrested for marching with the KKK. Was arrested. So let's be clear who these people are. You know what else I've noticed?
Speaking of not being a loser, I can't, there's no segue. That just doesn't stop. Don't be a loser. Have AG1.
There you go.
It's not
Let your system win. Don't be a loser.
I did it, Ken. Speaking of something we're not speaking of.
Can I say something about AG1?
Sure.
So this morning I got up early. You didn't sleep well.
I didn't.
Again. And so when she doesn't sleep well, I better get up. Because nothing makes a woman that didn't sleep well matter than her husband sleeping well. Yeah. Guess what I didn't do? Sleep. Okay, I guess I'm up. I'm up now. What are we doing? So I go this morning, and usually I'll AG1 sometimes is an afterthought. I think about it after. This morning I got up, I felt weird. Like I didn't drink, nothing. Yeah. I just felt I worked out last night, kind of late. No, I did. Yeah, I worked out kind of late last night, and I felt achy. I went got the big glass, then boom, AG1. I was feeling bad. About 30 minutes later, I'm on the couch. I'm working on the Armageddon update. And I all of a sudden realized that I'm better. I feel fine. I feel great. It took everything. It wasn't like a sugary, like breakfast thing at all because there's no sugar. And it just went, even me out. I was great.
I have gotten kind of hooked on having it the way that it makes me feel. So if you guys...
The way it makes me feel.
If you guys are new and you don't know what we're talking about, it is a amazing product that you take one scoop of, put it in a little bit of water, shake it up, drink it. Good for the day. Every scoop has 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotics. You don't have to take those too, and whole food sourced ingredients of high quality. I love the way it makes me feel, and I didn't have it yet today. I usually have it in the morning, but
it really turns you on.
I was out of it, so I didn't have that yet. And I was just sitting here before we did this ad thinking, I need to take that. I will feel better. It helps me feel more clear-headed. It gives me energy, which I don't have a lot of right now. It makes my stomach feel better.
Jam on!
Better hair, skin, and nails. And also they have travel packs for the road, which we use. And then I use the dropper bottle of D3, drop that in, shake it up, taste tropical. You're done for the day. You don't have to take all those other pills and vitamins.
That's what I want to be clear about. I don't need to take any other supplements. I am so when I finished the drink this morning, and I thought, I don't have to put that stuff in my gut. That's going to kind of make me feel weird. Like sometimes
you're covered.
You
with
don't
everything.
pee green after you have
this.
It goes in green.
But
comes out clear.
You don't see it. It's not like you
you
instantly pee neon after you have it because your body is absorbing this stuff. So I think you need to try it. When something is so good and I'm sitting here not realizing we had the ad today thinking, I got to get home and do that. I'll feel better.
Yep.
It's good before a workout.
Also invented by a guy who didn't do it to make money. He did it because he didn't feel well. And he studied and figured it out and came up with this formula that made his gut feel better.
And they stand by their product. They made us use it for a month before we were allowed to do the ad, which is kind of gangster.
I hated those meetings. Drink it. I hated that. It
Shut up.
was rough. It was rough advertising.
So if you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, the dropper bottle, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1/Titus. That's drinkag1/Titus. Go check it out. It's an awesome nutritional supplement that I think everybody needs.
Can I give you my conspiracy theory?
Sure.
So here's my conspiracy theory. And I was thinking about it because we are all feeling quite cocky that this man's been indicted 3 times. This guy who tried to, let's be clear, he tried to overthrow the government of the United States. No bullshit. We saw it. Had those guys got in and killed a bunch of members of Congress, he would have instigated. He was still president at the time. He would have said the Insurrection Act. He would have imposed it. He would have shut down the election. And then it would have to be what was going to happen. If you remember, by the way, he already had some shit going because if you remember correctly on that day, the fucking military didn't show up. Yeah. They had people burning it, walking through the Capitol with flags, breaking windows, attacking cops, and the military didn't show up, which means he already had buddies. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. So here's my biggest problem with all what's happening now. We are getting cocky. And we were cocky before he got elected the first time. Everybody was. All the Democrats like, this fucking retard. No one's going to get this. Mm-hmm. If this man continues this and we don't pay attention to what he's doing, because it's all at different levels. Again, Tuberville's not going to let any nominee go through, which means our military is weaker, which means our military is going to be, if they do get in, it's going to be those guys. Trump could possibly get in if something happens to, they're both almost 80. Biden's 80, Trump's 77, 78. Okay. So if something happens to Biden, okay, and Biden can't run, that means Kamala Harris will step up, right?
Right.
But no one really trusts her yet.
Right.
You know, she hasn't really, they've kept her kind of in the background. It would have to be Gavin Newsom. That'll throw everything into chaos. That it's possible at that point, people are like, well, let's see if Trump can do better this time. And if he got in, and all it would take is the Electoral College again, because be clear, people, he fucking lost the popular vote. Lost. If he gets in, he kills the cases against him. Mm-hmm. He
pardons a lot of people.
Pardons everybody. Mm-hmm. He then actually imposes martial law. He then takes the country over. And he's not
especially if we're rioting.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what'll happen. That's what will happen. I will be in the streets. Mm-hmm. If that happens,
he will marry Ivanka.
Did I just scare the hell out of him?
Make that legal.
He'll marry Ivanka.
Just the way you said it, I will be in the streets.
I will be in the streets.
Okay.
I will have my latte. I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
I'll take a smoothie with him.
Is this sugar free? Boo! That'll be me protesting. But it's possible unless we pay attention to what this guy is doing and stop buying the bullshit. Like you said, he keeps saying it over and over. He had the balls. How dumb are you people? I'm doing this for you. I got indicted for you.
Did you?
You dumb mother. What? No, you got indicted because you committed crimes.
All you have to do is look at how he bailed on everybody once he couldn't use them anymore, or once they stood up to something illegal he was doing.
Or came against him. Yep.
Or came against him.
I said the Armageddon update.
And then not just bailed on them, but tried to turn the whole country against them. I mean, he's not going to be loyal to you. He demands loyalty, but he's not going to be loyal to you.
Why don't we have anybody on the and I still say this, and I'm going to be right. I was right about the pandemic. I was right about Trump martial law. I think we're going to find out that he's got a lot of shit on people. And I think this, here's my this is tinfoil hat day.
Okay.
I think, because you know the whole thing with Epstein, right? Him and Epstein were really tight. Mm-hmm. So you remember they had all that evidence on Epstein, but they couldn't take it because it wasn't on.
Then they got a subpoena.
And it was gone. And it was gone.
Yep.
They had stacks of CDs. They had stacks of computer disks, floppy disks. They had stacks of hard drives.
Yep.
And they couldn't take it because it wasn't on the search warrant. They came back 2 days later, which again seems shady as fuck. Really?
Morons.
Really?
Put everything on there.
You don't just leave 2 guys there. You got the worst guy in the world who's trafficking teenagers. We're going to stay in the house.
I would just leave someone there that was just searching things like this slowly.
Exactly.
No. The search isn't over yet. Call me when you have it. Okay, let me open this.
Get
drawer.
Sloth Stevenson in here. He just gonna slowly,
exactly.
just kind of slowly walking through the. So, I think this. Whoever has that stuff, because someone has that stuff.
Someone does. Yes.
I think Trump has access to it. And I think everybody on that list, there is no reason this late in this fucking nightmare that this guy is. From the pussy grabbing all the way to stealing classified documents. There is no reason why a normal, aware human being would say, yeah, let's keep backing that guy up. Unless you were compromised in a way that it would end your life.
Yeah, but we know people who we would consider to be decent people who still rabidly support him, and they can see everything we can see. They have all the same knowledge we have.
Do you think it's because they don't want to be wrong? No one wants to be wrong.
It's people that are susceptible to cult thinking.
Yes.
And some we can't underestimate those people.
I'm surprised at in my family. I would not have thought that. I mean, I knew I didn't have those tendencies. I will argue anything for no reason.
You'll invent.
You should talk. Everyone's going, really, Titus? Really? Really?
I'm the man. And by the way, sometimes I say that just over the top. She knows I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, right?
We'll talk about it later. This episode brought to you by HelloFresh.
Oh, we had a couple of good meals this last week.
Man, I had skipped it this week because
last week, you would cook twice.
Yeah, last week I cooked 3. I cooked
right,
3 HelloFresh meals. Do you remember?
I remember eating them. I don't remember what they were
exactly. So this week I skipped because we were going out of town and my aunt and uncle were coming, because you can skip or pause or add meals, take away meals, whatever. It's very easy on their website. And it's a meal delivery service.
It is quite convenient.
That you cook. But it's all pre-portioned, high-quality ingredients, comes to your door. Awesome.
And the seasoning is
I skipped this week, and last night I was trying to think of what to have for dinner, and I actually thought, oh, man, because we don't leave till Saturday, I should have gotten HelloFresh, and I was craving it, because the most fun is looking at the ingredients, looking at the picture, and doing something new, and it being amazing.
Every time. And the one thing I said, what you made the potatoes?
Well,
the potatoes.
The first night was the meatballs. They were spicy, like Thai, and I had grated ginger.
Ginger in them. They were ginger in them. They were awesome.
They bake their meatballs, which I've never done before. I've always done it in a pan. Way better. They get crust on the outside.
Tone it down. You're baking my meatballs right now.
They get crust on the outside.
Yep.
So I get 4 portions, because that way we each have a leftover. Well, he always eats his 2 in the first. So the next day I'm with my friend Jen, and we're out shopping and doing stuff, and she was like, do you want to get something to eat? And I had my meal, and it's awesome because it's not just one thing, it's a whole, it's the rice and the meatballs and the veggies, so it was a meal. Yeah, sit down, come back. So I tell her no. I go home thinking about those. I get home and I see a Tupperware lid on the kitchen counter, and I think, oh no. And he's gone. And he ate them. He ate my meal. The whole... Come back
Titus.
here. What are you guys talking about? You ate my meal.
She put her name on the fucking Tupperware, and you ignored it.
There was no name on it.
I cooked it.
By the way, we're not roommates. Ginger. Like, we're not roommates. You don't get a label. Who had the last Coke? Who bought those? That doesn't happen.
I'm going to walk down to the refrigerator.
Put my meal in the fridge.
Listen. If you leave HelloFresh in the house and you leave it there, it is...
Okay, I'm going to start cooking it and giving you none and hiding it in the vegetable drawer where you never look.
No. I didn't know. If I'd have known, I would.
Then I made that chicken, the Kickin' Cayenne chicken. That was so good. Because the mashed potatoes, you go, what did you do to these potatoes?
That's, guys, the bonus of all this stuff is, I know we do these ads, but again, the only reason we do ads like this is because we only use the products we advertise. If we don't love it, we don't advertise for them.
The other one was that rice bowl, the that was
good too.
Pork.
The potatoes, the difference between this and everything else you're gonna get is that you're cooking it by yourself, you're fresh, and they've whoever works in the kitchen, you know this when you hoard the seasening. You actually use half and then hoard
I ration it out. I got to use it 24/7.
They have good seasonings
Yeah,
that I've
it's
never
really
tried
good.
It
before.
changes. It's food. It's food.
So fall is coming up. Kids
Like
are
you
going back
understand.
to school.
Oh, thank God.
Life gets busy again. And so this is the best product to plan out your life and make it easier. They have quick and easy meals that take 15 minutes or less, and they taste insane. That bowl that I made was one of those.
Yep.
So good. And it gets delivered to your door. You don't have to leave. It's cheaper. Everything's pre-portioned for you. It takes the guesswork out of it. It's 25% cheaper than takeout on average, and less expensive than if you bought the stuff at a grocery store. So go to HelloFresh.com/50Titus and use promo code 50Titus, and you get 50% off your order plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50Titus. Use code 50Titus for 50% off and free shipping. America's #1 meal kit. You got to try it. It's stupid.
It's great. Two things that may, and I'm going to go my other conspiracy. I'm going to go ease your mind a little bit, so I can balance this. Putin's busy. Putin's really busy. Ukraine started sending drones into like major like luxury buildings in Russia. Ukraine's like, all right,
With the U.S. flags on them.
no, we crossed those out. Sorry, they weren't on that. This guy with the Sharpie. It's not us. This Putin guy really
Zelensky.
This Putin guy bakes my meatballs. So Putin's busy. I don't think he has a lot of time to help Trump this time. That being said, anybody Trump really believes that people are going to go fight for him. Except if you saw his last rally this last week, it was half empty.
Oh, was it? Good.
Oh, they were like some people scattered, nothing, and he was speaking. So, and the people that he thinks are going to fight for him can now see 1,000 other people that got arrested and put in jail.
Yeah,
for the last time they fought for him,
and a lot of them died of COVID. So that whole section.
So he's killed. Right. So he's killed a million people by talking shit about it. Oh, it's gonna go away in days. And then you've got these other people that are now in prison, including the head of the Oath Keepers. I think he's going to be surprised at how little support he has. In the primary, he may destroy the primary. But in the Biden people, I think, are playing it really smart. They're not saying anything. They're doing is they're not burning all the shit he's done yet. Mm-hmm. They're going to wait. If he's the nominee, great. And DeSantis, babe, he's the weirdest, most awkward, uncomfortable dude I've ever, I can't, some lady was talking to him, they were filming him, he was at a thing, and he was talking, and she says something to me, he goes,
what is his
I was like, what the fuck?
I was like,
Groucho and then he goes like this. He does that, and he goes, yeah, whatever. And he turns around, and then he does this. This is the weird. He laughs like he's part of it, but it's the weirdest. Like someone who's never laughed before, like someone who's practicing laughing. That's what it looks like.
He's a psychopath. Yeah.
He turns and he goes, wow.
Yeah.
They have that on camera, and I'm like,
it's really
that's
weird.
a scary dude.
It's really weird. It has been nice. Trump got indicted for a couple of days. We haven't heard about Putin or DeSantis, so it's sort of a relief. Pence is polling like 3%.
Everyone else is polling really low compared to Trump.
Trump's 54. Was he 54? And then DeSantis is 20%. I hope Chris, listen, someone pointed out, you got nothing to lose at this point. The people, if you listen to all you Republicans that are running against Trump, because I know you watch the Titus Podcast all the time just to get the inside scoop.
I don't think they are.
Shh. I live in my own little bubble. If everybody else gets a bubble, they get to believe shit. If you can believe you should be president and your reality television stars have gone bankrupt 6 times, then I can believe that people listen to the podcast.
Okay.
So, someone pointed out that you're not going to get the Trump people anyway. No matter how much you kiss his ass, they're not going to vote for you. You're not going to change their mind.
I think they're playing the game that Trump's going to win. So I don't want to have any sound bites that are in the recorded that are going to.
But why would you want to join the crime family? Because they want to be in favor.
Because he's.
But why do you want to be the crime family?
Because he's our Gaddafi.
But
he's our
guy.
If you pay
attention,
Gaddafi didn't end well.
It did not end well.
Literally, and didn't.
Yeah. In
the end.
If you pay attention, what they like about Trump is that he just says anything. He just says shit. So why are you all being giant vaginas? I just wanted to say that to offend the same people the same time again. He speaks his mind. That's what I've heard people say all the time. And yet you guys don't think that maybe you should appeal to that? Come out and call it like it is. They like that.
I think some people don't like Trump or liking Chris. I'm excited to watch Chris Christie on TV now because he's just like going off flat out. It's in the Armageddon update. He comes out and he goes, he's a criminal and a liar. He just comes out and he's calling it out all the time. What I don't understand is why would you let Trump's attorneys on when they're obvious? The guy that was on was CNN's on,
and he's got
MSNBC,
that's right.
CNN.
That's right.
He's got a new attorney like every 3 days, doesn't he?
He can't hold on to
and
attorneys.
they quit or they.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Next Evo Naturals, because I was just thinking how we could all use
calm down. I need to calm down.
I did not take these last night because
but the night before you did.
I did.
You had 2 and I had 2.
I gave you 2. Yeah.
We slept like babies.
I usually keep them
Which
in
means
my
I
night.
peed myself while I slept.
In the night. It wasn't just pee.
Hello.
I keep them in my nightstand usually, the gummies. I love the gummies because it feels like getting a treat, like I'm eating candy. I love the citrus ones. They're really good. They don't taste bad. It doesn't taste like you're eating something that is supposed to be a gummy, but it's not. They taste like real gummies, and so I love them. Next Evo Naturals, they have a lot of different types of CBD, but it is a CBD company, and it helps with de-stressing. It helps, which I have definitely used it for. It helps with sleep.
Definitely.
You notice?
Can confirm.
When you took those gummies night before last?
Night before, yes. And then if you notice that we had that other pack of the smaller ones that we were taking, and I was handing, and you go, "Can I have 2 more?" And I was like, "We can have 1 because I need 1 for me," because we were down at the bottom.
Right.
And every night I've taken those gummies, I have slept better.
So they did a lab study. They found that most of the top CBD brands contain as little as 60% of what the labels claim that they have. So you're not getting actually what you pay for. Next Evo has tested their products multiple times in the lab, and then they ensure that you get 100% of what's on the label. So they actually demonstrated this in 4 clinical trials. So you can go and look at that.
So you're saying it's the most legit CBD?
It is legit. They have you covered for better sleep and wellness this summer. They have the Stress CBD Complex gummies. They're clinically proven to reduce stress up to 70%. No prescription needed. And then they have the Triple Action CBD Sleep. That's what I love. Calms your mind with fast absorbing CBD. Then both fast-acting and controlled-release melatonin, which gives me vivid dreams. Do you ever notice that when we have those gummies, you sleep deeply and you wake up like...
Oh, I did. I had a...
Holy crap.
Yes, I will tell you.
Did tell
I had
me.
a crazy
I forgot about this. You did tell me you had this dream.
Dream.
Okay, so let me say this and then you can tell that. So leave summer stress behind. Upgrade your CBD. Go to nextevo.com/Titus to get 25% off, plus a free bottle of premium pure CBD. That's $50 usually. So you get that for free. That's nextevo.com/Titus. They have all kinds. I like the little tear off salt packets of CBD. I put those in smoothies. Anyway, go ahead. You did. I forgot. You woke up and said you had a dream.
I told you it was I was in a dream. I was hanging out with Prince.
Yes.
Oh.
Hanging out with Prince, and
he was like on your back like Yoda.
Yeah.
And you were
funky you would be. Funky. And I hung out for felt like hours. We hung out, and he gave me advice on life. And there was something else.
There was someone else.
Yeah,
there,
someone else showed up, and it ended. The Prince thing ended. He didn't like him. Who was it? Showed up.
You told me, and I've forgotten now.
Oh, I woke up like you wouldn't believe it. It was one of those dreams when I woke up, I was like, really? Okay. Wow. You ever dream that I don't even know why or what, but that was crazy. Speaking of Sinead O'Connor, what a bummer, But then again, did we talk about this last week? We did. Okay.
About how the media suddenly, a fragile bird.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing to me is that they keep playing. She had an album that Nothing Compares to You wasn't on. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And yet every time I see they're playing a tribute to her, she sings Nothing Compares to You, which was written by Prince. Give me one of her songs, man.
Yeah. And
You
she
know?
does have a lot of good
She
other
does
songs,
have a lot of good songs. They're like, stop playing the song that they had beef about that song.
Yeah. Oh, did they?
They had beef, yes, because she I guess she went and recorded at a studio. This is reported years ago, and they got in a big argument. And she said he kind of yelled at her about the song, and you know, and then he took it back in a later album. He actually did a live version of it. That's amazing. But you just play one of her songs. Come on, man. She, you know, hey, by the way, she was a great artist. Here's
another artist
cover.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Who else did we lose recently? Oh, we lost Pee Wee Herman. We lost Paul Rubens. Paul
that
Rubens.
Was sad.
You know why? And I said it in one of the posts, that it's so much sadder when you lose somebody that made us laugh. And he did it in a way like a Warner Brothers cartoon. It was adult and kid-like at the same time. Yeah. And everything that I know about Paul Rubens, because there was a lot of comics that knew him. I didn't know him, but a lot of comics just like the nicest.
Elaine Boozler posted about him, and she said, because Elaine was good friends with Judy Tenuta, and she said that during the time that Judy was sick, he went over there all the time. And when Elaine, I think she said when she was out of town or when she was in Italy or something, he would always call Elaine to give her an update on how she was doing. And she said he never mentioned that he was also battling cancer or whatever illness he had, that he just was there helping Judy, but never mentioned, hey guys, by the way.
Well, can I ask a couple of questions about this? This is stuck in my head. Norm, Paul Rubens, Judy Tenuta,
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget died. He didn't have cancer.
Oh, you were gonna say?
No,
I thought you were gonna say comics that died.
I have this thing, like what is it about people wanting to avoid letting people know what's going on with them?
Oh yeah, I always wonder about that.
Because like, you know, if I got a terminal illness, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't say anything.
Well, why would you? Is there like a shame in it? I guess.
If you're a comic, would you want audience to feel sorry for you while you're up there trying to make them laugh? It would definitely add something different.
I thought of this. I said, because when he died, I said, if something happened to me like that, I would record a special one night, make sure everybody signed a waiver, and it would be called Show's Over. And I would just do one last hour about what was going on, and then it doesn't get released till after I go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bowie.
Bowie did that. The day he died, boom, the album came out.
Well, I guess didn't Norm kind of do that? He did that one.
Yeah, but I don't know if he did it on
his computer screen.
I think that had
to be. Well, it was during COVID. Norm.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. Norm was God damn, is Norm Macdonald funny? I watch clips all the time about
you dirty dog.
Yeah. How about the one? You see the one? By the way, he tells these kind of old jokes, and he does it in such a cool way. You're like, that's the coolest joke I've ever heard. About the guy. He goes, Doc. He goes, my wife's in a coma. She won't wake up. She's been in a coma forever. And the doc goes, well, we've tried everything. I don't know what maybe. Look, go in there. We'll close the door. Try oral sex. He goes, Doc, you crazy? I'm not going to do that. He goes, no. He goes, that might wake her up. It might, if you oral sex might wake her up. And he goes, all right. And he goes in there, and he comes out like 5 minutes later. He goes, so what happened? He goes, I don't know, Doc. She's choking.
He did that on Conan, and you see
too. Conan is shaking, and he's got his head in his hands.
And then Norm just plays it so straight, just sits. And this episode also brought to you by a new advertiser, Drizzly.com.
You're going to want to hear about this one, guys.
Drizzly is here to be your partner in parties. I've used Drizzly.
Your party partner.
Your party partner. They help you take the guesswork out of planning a party, out of restocking a party, which I've used them for before.
Yeah, we have used them.
It's the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits. They deliver right to your door. It's the go-to app for drink delivery. But they also have, if you guys go look on their website or go to the app, you got to get the app.
Amazon for booze is what you're saying?
And so they also have other like extra things like food and snacks and mixers and energy drinks and stuff like that. So what I've used them for is we're in the middle of a party and our friends drink a lot. And I always underestimate it. I think I'm overestimating it and I'm wrong. Or also what's happened is I'll have several things and everybody will drink this one thing. Like Campari products, like Aperol. A bunch of my girlfriends are hooked on Aperol spritzes. Barb started that from when she went over to Italy. So now Aperol spritzes are all everybody drinks. And at Barb's house, we cranked through bottles of Aperol. They're really good though. They're kind of, you feel like they feel healthy. They're
Who's this commercial for?
What is this opioid thing you're talking about?
One of their,
Oprexil.
but when I'm doing stuff, and when I'm not having a party, and when I am, and I'm running out of stuff, I just use Drizzly. And you can also send things as gifts, which is kind of a cool thing. Somebody's having a party, you can't make it, send them something from Drizzly. I sent my stepfather scotch.
Yep.
For I think Father's Day. That's when I first started using drizzly.com. So go to DRIZLY.com or download the app or do both and check out what they have. They've got, I was looking at the list of what they have. Wild Turkey 101. That brings back some memories of living in Louisiana. But they have Sky, vodka,
Drank Wild Turkey,
Grand Marnier,
Wild
Cordon
Turkeys.
Rouge. They've got it all. You got to just, that was the other thing that I loved about them. And that's why I used them the first time, because they had the level of scotch that I was looking for my stepfather. And so they have really nice products and it's, I thought, better priced. That's how I ended up getting hooked on Drizzly.
I think we are getting to a place where companies like Drizzly are, because do you remember when it first came online, when companies were online? Well, tell them how to get it first. Talk about it.
Yeah, I did. Download the app, Drizzly app, or go to DRIZLY.com.
When it first came out, we were like, oh my God, they'll deliver it. And then all of a sudden there was more than one, and then it was 5, and then it was 10.
Yeah.
So companies like Drizzly, HelloFresh, stuff we use, they've actually realized that, we can't just, it's not unusual that we'll deliver to your house now. We have to be better at it. And that's what I like about the products we have.
Yeah.
It's a necessity now with the world. It's
funny because all the buildings that you see commercial real estate and stuff in retail stores, there's a guy with a car that'll drive it over to me. Why do I go?
I also want you guys to know Cleveland Hilarities, the 11th and the 12th of this month. That's next week.
I talked to Nick. Tickets are going fast, guys. Cleveland Hilarities. Ray and I
also, Detroit Comedy Castle sold out on Sunday, but they just emailed me and asked, they were holding, I think, 10 tickets for us if we had comps. And he said, can I sell those tickets? And I said, we don't know anybody in Detroit. Sure. So I think they're releasing 8 or 10 tickets.
Yeah, Detroit's gone.
It went.
So we got Hilarities Cleveland, which is doing well, and then Detroit's gone
on the 13th. Yep. And then we have Stardome in Birmingham on the 17th, Huntsville on the 18th and 19th, Springfield the very next weekend, 24th through 26th. Also, don't forget, guys, that we have a bunch of theater dates coming up that are on sale now in Knoxville, Louisville, New Orleans, Lafayette, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta is on sale for October 14th. A lot of these are ones that people have been asking for.
And Alabama, I just want you to know, Huntsville, there's no politics in this show.
No politics. It's like Norman Rockwell is Bleeding 2.0. It's best special he's ever done.
That's you saying it.
That's me saying it. I love all of them, and I quote you to you all the time.
She's not a big compliment giver.
Oh, shut up.
See?
I quote him to him all the time. I always tell him that's a sign of good comedy, because we will quote Mulaney to each other sometimes, or
David Tell,
but we can't say what those quotes are on
that's true.
Ever again out loud.
Carlin, I will quote Carlin sometimes. I'll quote Robin sometimes.
Just in passing, I'll quote you to you, and then we always go, wait, what special was that? We can't ever.
This is my 10th, man. This is my 10th. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, listening. Before we go, it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts. That last note, that was better. That last note is
The last note was
relatively
okay.
good.
Where would I go? Where should I go on the last note? Highlanders fun facts.
I don't know. You're flat and sharp at the same. I don't know how you to do that.
I know. Makes me sad. Even when I play guitar, same.
Yeah, and it's tuned. Every 2 weeks, another language or dialect goes extinct.
Wow.
There is a language in Nigeria that is currently only spoken by 4 people. Well, I mean, why? Just what's the
Wow.
at that
Yeah,
point?
that's when you're just being a dick. Like,
Yeah.
nah, me, Steve,
I don't speak
Rick,
your
and Bob.
language.
Yeah. Click, click, pop, pop. Yeah. Huh? Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Do you
Yeah,
remember that bit you did for a while? Pop, pop, and click, click?
Yeah, pop up, click, click. Basically, it was a guy adopted 2 kids from. It was basically all the kids were being such weenies. This is when all that participation to everything is going
But
on.
wasn't that the father and installed high-speed internet?
Yeah, if you
never made a special?
No, if you adopted 2 kids from the worst war-torn part of Africa and brought them to America, and you had these 2 other participation trophy kids, you'd probably be, Dad, this BMW is not the color I want.
Yeah.
And then they could be like, Father, I've installed high-speed internet. I've invented a new cellular system that you can make millions off of. Father, can I have ice cream, please?
Yeah, it was such a great bit. I remember you doing it
Of
in
course you
Brea
can.
years
and
ago.
no flies. Thank you, Father.
That was
Yeah.
all right. Anyway,
it was brutal.
Pop, pop, click, click made me think of that.
Yeah.
So, guys, come see us. We're going to be on the road. We have a
Can-
10-year anniversary next week.
We've been together 10 years, married 10 years. Can I tell you one more thing? This girl is getting on stage,
No,
cold opening, and slaying.
we had fun. Where were we?
It's
Des Moines
it's
and
crazy.
Kansas City. Both shows were sold out. It was packed. Des Moines sold out. It was really
We sold out a lot. Yeah, we
great
sold out.
audiences.
Standing ovations. But here's the thing. It doesn't look. I've been doing comedy a long time. I'll get them eventually. I walk on stage. They're already so warmed up. They're so ready because you've slayed that I just step into it. There's been a couple nights where you killed so hard that the first 2 minutes I was like, oh, okay, I better whoosh. Yeah, I better crank the Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Go to Christopher Titus TV for all our stuff. Watch our stuff on YouTube. Do me a favor.
Knock 'em Dead's coming out Friday. Second episode.
Second episode of Knock 'em Dead, edited this weekend. It's quite good.
Knock 'em Dead podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe. New episode is awesome.
What's the one thing we all go through and nobody talks about?
Death.
So we're take you through a journey, and it's wee.
It was fun. This episode was fun.
But go to ChristopherTitus.com to get all our merch, everything else, and see what we have. And you want to say, go to Apple iTunes to get the Willing Bureau album, Misanthropics.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know if you got new stuff coming out?
New stuff coming out? Yeah, all the time.
All right.
He's already been releasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just want to say for my daughter, look, Kenny released a new song this week called American Spirit. Go get it. Just go listen to it. The kids, I think she's getting better. She's actually getting better. I think
Better.
She's,
She was.
she's starting to realize though that you don't just put out songs and it all happens. You have to bust your ass all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I write a bunch of comedy. I did some open mics. Well, how come I'm not famous yet? Because it's going to take about 10 years. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. For myself, the lovely bombshell right in the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There can be one.